What's up guys, my name is Ryan. As the world is finally returning back to normal, I think we're all excited to travel to some new destinations this year. So here's my top 10 places to visit in 2023. With almost all countries finally open for tourism, 2023 is the year of travel. Whether you explore the fjords of Norway or witness the wonders of Patagonia, I hope that in 2023 you can safely travel to some new places in our beautiful world. Let's start this video off at the Portuguese island of Madeira. Located in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Africa, Madeira is often called the Hawaii of Europe, and after visiting it, I totally understand why. The island was born of volcanic origins, and if you love hiking or just relaxing on the beach, Madeira is the place for you. Ponta do Sol was my favorite place for swimming. There was no sand, just smooth boulders, but the ocean was amazing to swim in, and there was a place to go cliff jumping. My favorite place on Madeira is Pico do Arieiro. It's one of the tallest points on the island, and since you're so high up, you'll often be in or above the clouds. Now the hiking there is exquisite, the trails are so well maintained, and you get some of the most phenomenal views, and you don't even need to hike that far. I was blown away by the dramatic peaks and unique reddish and orange colors of the rock. There's this one peak called Pico do Gato that was my favorite. I mean, if you're up for adventure in 2023, you gotta give Madeira a visit. After, we're going to head up to Western Norway. I was here recently and I was just blown away by the beauty of this country. I really like Western Norway in particular because it's home to a majority of Norway's fjords, and the landscapes there are just on another level. One of Norway's most well-known fjords is Geiranger Fjord. You can get there by driving about 5 or 6 hours from Oslo. Now the fjord is massive, and one of its most well-known features is the Seven Sisters waterfall that cascades 410 meters to the water below. Now one of my favorite features in the fjord is Skagaflak. It's this historic mountain farm perched on a cliff. Now to get there you need to take a ferry and then you hike up. Now the views up there are just breathtaking, and the grass roof cabins look like something out of a fairy tale. Another one of my favorite places in Western Norway is Luvatnet. It's located just a few hours away from Geiranger. It's this glacier lake with the distinct turquoise water. I mean, such a stunning color, and the scenery around the lake is unbelievable. There are mountains and waterfalls everywhere you look. Norway truly is a special country, and I hope you can visit this year. After, we're going to head down to Africa to visit the country of Namibia, located on the Atlantic coast above South Africa. Now when people think of Namibia, the Namib Desert probably comes to mind. It's full of massive orange sand dunes and those orc antelope. Now one of my favorite places in the Namib Desert is Dedvli. It's this clay pan surrounded by massive dunes. And what makes it so unique is that there's these trees that died 600 years ago because water stopped coming into the area and they are frozen in time. Now another one of my favorite places in Namibia is the Spitskoop. It's this granite mountain that reaches 1,728 meters above sea level, and it's been called the Matterhorn of Namibia. If you want to see some African wildlife, the Etosha National Park is a wonderful place to see animals such as lion, giraffes, and elephants. And another cool fact about Namibia is that it's home to more cheetahs than anywhere else in the world. Anyways, Namibia is such a spectacular country. I hope you can visit. Now while we're still in Africa, we're going to head to the islands of the Seychelles. Now located in the Indian Ocean off the coast of East Africa, the Seychelles are an archipelago made up of 115 islands and are home to some of the world's most famous beaches. Now when you find the Seychelles, you'll probably come to the island of Mahi. It's the biggest island in the archipelago and also home to Victoria, which is the island's capital. Now there's a lot to do and see on Mahi, and it's also a great place to venture off to the other islands. One of the most famous places in all the Seychelles is the beach called Anse Source d'Argent. It's located on the island of La Digue, which you can reach by taking a ferry from the neighboring islands. It's often rated as one of the world's most beautiful beaches, and I totally understand why. It has these massive granite boulders that create an otherworldly landscape. Now afterwards, we're going to head over to South America to visit Patagonia. Located in both bottom halves of Chile and Argentina, Patagonia is easily one of the most beautiful regions in the world. It has fjords like Norway, sounds like New Zealand, and the mountains are comparable to the Alps. Now one of the most famous places in Patagonia is Torres del Paine. It's located on the Chilean side. Torres del Paine is a national park home to animals such as guanacos and pumas, and it's named after its iconic 3 granite towers. Another one of the most well-known places in Patagonia is Fitzroy. It's this mountain range located on the Argentinian side. I think it's possibly one of the most beautiful mountains in the world. There's several glacial lakes and viewpoints to marvel this mountain range from. The area is just spectacular. Afterwards, we're going to visit the Emerald Isle of Ireland. I went here for the first time this summer, and it quickly became one of my all-time favorite countries. It's a land full of magical landscapes, dramatic coastlines, and enchanting history. One of the main reasons I wanted to go to Ireland was to visit the Great Skellig Island. You may recognize it as Luke Skywalker's hideout in the Star Wars movies. It's famous for being a monastic settlement that housed monks in these beehive-shaped huts until the 13th century. Now the island really is something else. You can only reach it by taking a boat over a rough sea. Now when we got to the island, I just loved walking up the 618 steps to the monastery. It's easily one of the most impressive places I've ever been. Now another amazing spot in Ireland is the Cliffs of Moher. They're probably Ireland's most recognizable destination, with cliffs that rise over 214 meters above the sea. I just loved walking along the cliffs and marveling at the beauty. Ireland is just such an amazing country. Afterwards, we're going to head over to France to visit the French Riviera. Also known as the Côte d'Azur, the French Riviera is one of the most highly sought after destinations in Europe. It's located in southern France on the Mediterranean Sea. One of my favorite places on the Riviera is Èze. It's this medieval hilltop village that was founded around the 14th century. When you walk through the village, you'll feel like you're going back in time. I loved all the cobblestone paths that winded through Èze. Now while you're there, you can hike to the top and reach the exotic garden that not only has beautiful plants, but an amazing view of the Riviera. Another one of my favorite towns on the French Riviera is Saint-Tropez. It's renowned for its beaches, nightlife, and luxurious lifestyle. I really enjoy just walking around the town and just marveling at its beauty. Now if you're into more nature, I recommend you check out the Calanques near Cassis. They offer some of France's best scenery with incredible sea coves surrounded by daunting cliffs. The one I really wanted to go to is called Calanques d'Envaux. Now you can only access it by hiking or taking a kayak in. When I reached the beach, I was just amazed by the steep white cliffs coupled with the greens of the pines and blues of the water. We went for a swim and the water clarity was amazing. I wanted to find a cliff spot, and after swimming down the cove, I found this little rock about 7 meters high and sent a few jumps off it. There's truly no better feeling than cliff jumping in the Mediterranean. Afterwards, we're going to head over to Italy to visit Tuscany. Located in central Italy, Tuscany is known for its landscapes, history, and artistic legacy. I've been obsessed with Tuscany ever since I've seen The Gladiator. Now, one of my favorite places there is San Gimignano. It's this hilltop town famous for its watchtowers and incredibly preserved medieval features. Now, if you want to see some of Tuscany's countryside, you can visit Valdorcia. When you think of Tuscany, this is what you'll probably imagine: lush, rolling hills, perfectly aligned cypress trees, and picturesque hilltop towns. This is easily one of the most scenic parts of the region. Now, the city of Florence is the crowning feature of Tuscany. It's considered to be the birthplace of the Renaissance, and the history there is endless. Whether you walk across the Ponte Vecchio Bridge or marvel at the architecture of the Duomo, Florence is sure to take you back in time. Afterwards, we're going to head over to the country of New Zealand. Now, after seeing movies like Lord of the Rings, I think it's safe to say we all want to visit New Zealand one day. Now, New Zealand is made up of 700 islands, but the two major ones are the North and South. If you're down for more adventure and crazy landscapes, I'd say the South Island is where it's at. It's home to the Southern Alps, where Mount Cook is located. It's the tallest mountain in New Zealand and stands over 12,218 feet high. Another incredible spot is the Milford Sound. Described as the eighth wonder of the world, the Milford Sound is a fjord that was carved out by glaciers during the Ice Age. It's one of the wettest places in the world, and the whole area is just full of a rainforest and magical waterfalls. New Zealand opened up back in 2022 for travel, so I hope you guys can give it a visit this year. Now for our final destination, we're going to head over to Asia to visit Japan. Also known as the land of the rising sun, I have to say Japan is one of the places I want to visit most this year. Japan was one of the last countries to open up for tourism, but this recent September it finally eased restrictions, making it the perfect place to visit in 2023. From the snow-covered northern island of Sapporo to the Japanese Alps, this little island country has so much to offer. Now when you get to Japan, you can visit Tokyo. It's the largest city in the world with a population over 37 million. From Tokyo, you can venture about an hour and a half outside to visit Mount Fuji. The active volcano is the tallest peak in Japan with a height of 12,388 feet. It's a perfect cone shape and acts as a sacred symbol for the country. A great place to view Mount Fuji from is Lake Kawaguchi. You can get a wonderful view of the volcano from there, and overall it's just a beautiful area. Nearby is the Cherito Pagoda, which offers one of the most incredible views of the sacred volcano. Well, that is it for my 2023 travel guide. Let me know in the comments below where you want to visit most this year. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.